Imagine you're a student in a classroom. Go ahead. Just take a minute and imagine so. The traditional style of classroom includes the teacher standing up in the front of the room and the students sitting down, uniform and in rows. The students, they listen intently while the teacher attempts to explain algebra and Pythagoras. This is most likely the image that you remember from your school days, if they've passed already. And somehow, while he speaks, the teacher attains a sense of power and control over the room. He's a commanding presence that dictates the happenings of the room while you, the students, just sit still and follow orders. Now, I just want to ask a question. How many of you hear my voice? Right now, just raise a hand. How many of you are actually listening to me? Hopefully that's most of you. You see, that's because at this current moment, I am the teacher in the room. I hold the power in the room. Just because I'm up here and you guys aren't, I must be powerful. I must be listened to. I must be smart. Studies have shown that a person standing in front of the room above the heads of the audience has much more presence and power within that room. So, let me tell a joke here. Why did the skeleton go to prom alone? Because he had nobody to go with. You feel that? I can make the room feel really, really awkward. Hey! I can make the room feel a little bit tenser. The person standing above the room, in the front of the room, has so much influence over the room's atmosphere and its occupants' reactions. And this power is not gone unnoticed by the students. Students are immediately aware of the power gap between teachers and students. They see the teacher as an authority figure, a force to be reckoned with. And consequently, students become reluctant to ask questions. They're intimidated by the power gap between the teacher and the student, and often also fear the social ridicule of saying the wrong thing. And students learning in this environment slowly become less inquisitive, less outspoken, less innovative, and often come to accept anything and everything the teacher would tell them. And this in turn creates this culture of mindless and obedient workers. It suppresses the idiosyncrasies of the child and instead replaces their head with conformity, control, and compliance. The 3 C's of the submissive student. And although this may not be true for the top international schools in the world, public schools and private schools all around the globe are still subject to this problem. This isn't what's best for the kids. This isn't what's best for us. And this definitely isn't what's best for the future. Teachers must stop looking down upon their students. Now, I want you to imagine this. You see a teacher in a classroom sitting at a table. He lowers himself to the eye level of the students, speaks to each and every one of them directly and clearly, and sits amongst his pupils. In such an environment, he has created a friendly atmosphere. He has closed this gap between the teacher and the student and allowed the student to feel comfortable approaching this teacher. And when the teacher is approachable, it allows the students to be inspired to ask questions. Students become more inquisitive, more innovative, more outspoken. Such an environment inspires better learning. And this kind of environment is just so integral for us because we spend so much time with the teachers. And this isn't just about our education or learning, it's about the students. I mean, education, teachers are not only an essential part of our learning, they're also an essential part of our social lives. students spend at least 8 hours a day, possibly more, with their teachers. Cumulatively, you could even argue that a student spends more time with their teacher than they do with their parents. So, has any of you ever accidentally called your teacher mom or dad? Yeah, I can tell it wasn't a fun experience for any of you, right? And teachers are such an integral part of our life that they're oftenly associated with a parental figure. And as that sort of prominent figure within their life, someone to be considered a role model, a teacher can't continue to look down upon their students. And these traditional style of teachers need to open up to the idea of being comfortable with their students. Talk to them, share your interests, get to know these kids past their educational abilities. This may look different from teacher to teacher. Some teachers may just share stories, funny stories about their fun days from years ago. Others may just simply show interests in the kids' lives. But what's important here is that teachers and students work together in order to close this gap of power, work together to inspire a culture of innovative, inquisitive, outspoken creatives. Let's work together to help the changemakers, the future changemakers and leaders of this world flourish in our society. Thank you.